First and foremost, happy Friday to everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, one reason that I'm showing this here TikTok reel is due to how I want you to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. In other words, a woman's perspective on why the majority of women are so hard to please. Even if you may happen to be a man who may meet all of a woman's standards. And for even more proof on how so many women are so hard to please, just look at a few episodes of that popular Pop the Balloon show. Because it never fails. How many times have you seen, if not episodes, whole episodes of that show, at least shorts of that show, and as soon as a man would come out onto the stage, he could be barely 5 minutes onto the stage, the majority of all women on there will usually pop their balloons instantly. Even if that man may happen to be exactly what they're looking for, may happen to be the exact way they prefer a man to be dressed, may also happen to be the exact skin tone they may desire in a man, may even happen to be the exact height they may desire in a man. It never fails. They will still end up usually rejecting that man for some of the most pettiest reasons, which just proves my point once again, everyone, of how the average woman cannot be happy regardless. If you don't believe me, well, just listen to this TikTok reel by a woman by the name of Sarah, who happens to be a white woman. And on that same video, because it should still be on my channel, she talked about how, and this is coming from a white woman's standpoint, you cannot make a woman happy. And you should know that's out to tell you something. If a white woman went on to social media saying how you cannot make a woman happy, well, that applies to not just only women within my race, the black race, but the white race, the Middle Eastern race, the Asian race, the Hispanic race. I could go on and on. Women, no matter what race they are, just cannot be happy regardless. Do not know what they want either. Anyways.
Let me really break this down, right, in bullet points. I gotta get all this straight in my head. All right, so women want a man to be attractive, tall, make 6 or 7 figures, even though most women do not make that themselves, right? Okay. While he's out here making all this money, all these 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figures, he better be home in time to give all his attention and take her on all the dates, or else she'll cheat. Women want a man to call, but not too much. Text back, but don't text back too fast, because then he's like weird and he's a lame. And if he's nice, he's a lame. If he's mean, he's unattainable. He's a challenge, and then women want him, even if they will not admit it. I hear women say all the time, like, I just want my man to be honest. But when he's honest, they blow up, freak out, label him mean, toxic, abusive, and of course, a narcissist. Most women do not really want honesty. They want comfort. You want a man to tell you what you want to hear, not what's going to help you grow. And speaking of growth, try pointing out just one thing that she needs to work on, and you will see exactly why most women cannot take accountability for shit. You want a man to be emotionally available, but if he shows any emotion, then he's soft. You want him to lead, but when he does, now he's aggressive and controlling and abusive. You want him to initiate sex and affection, but when he does, you turn it down. But when he stops trying, then you say he's cheating or he's gay. Women want undivided attention, but if he gives it to you, then he's sucking the life out of you. He won't give you space. You can't breathe. He's lame and he's annoying. Then you turn around and cheat with the guy that's going to treat you like a whore and who looks at you as such. Women don't even realize the guy who's just trying to hit. They just look at the guy who's trying to build as the red flag. I'm confused. I don't think I will ever understand any of this. And I am a woman.
Now, was she lying by a long shot? Was she lying at all about how she just said how she gave her perspective about how ladies usually expect too much from the opposite sex? And if you don't believe me, well, do some of you women remember that show, What Chili Wants? That should also be an indication of how women want too much out of a man, and how out of all the men that Chilli from TLC, the popular R&B group TLC, after she couldn't pick her ideal man on all those episodes of that show, this also proves my point once more of how the majority of women are wishy-washy. And what I mean by wishy-washy is, I don't mean moody, because a lot of you may apply being wishy-washy is moody. To be honest, being wishy-washy is not being able to have an easy time making up your mind and making a decision what you want. Well, Chilli on that show, what Chilli wants is the epitome of how wishy-washy so many women could be, how undecided, and confused they can be when it comes to what standards they may want from the opposite sex. And if you don't believe me that much more, well, just ladies, am I right or wrong? How many times have you been on dating apps and you may see a guy who may be your ideal guy, who may happen to have all your standards that you've been looking for in a man, only to swipe either left or right and go to another selection of men on a dating app? Whichever you swipe for, whenever you may reject a man who may not suit your interests. Once again, ladies, and be honest, how many times have you been on a dating app and you may come across a guy who not only may be very attractive to you physically, but he may happen to also have all the other things you may have been looking for in a man, only to swipe to another match on the app, where it may be, once again, either left or right, which also proves my point of how the majority of you women just do not know what you want in a man. And I blame it on not only social media, due to how you have even more choices in a dating market, first and foremost by you being a woman, and it's much more easier for you to gain sex from men as it is the opposite, due to how men have to earn a woman's trust for the most part, just to be able to be intimate with her. You, on the other hand, most of you women could just go outside as we speak, could be dressed all the way down, only to still get offered sex by a man. And you could be a woman that's unemployed, so be dressed down, look straight up dusty, however, still could get offered sex from a random man. Especially you may be a woman who's pretty shapely, who may have a nice set of breasts, who may have a nice shaped derriere, be very curvy, and a pretty face, not having to wear any makeup, no nice clothes, could just be in straight up tank top and pajamas, or t-shirt and pajamas. You could look like you literally just came out of bed with funky breath and all that. Still, within the same day, as soon as you were to come outside, you could get offered sex by a man. Anyways, and this is a whole other topic for a whole different video. Once again, this proves my point even more on the game this sister just gave on how women not only expect too much from a man, from the average man, but how the majority of women are just hard to please. On top of that, do not know what they want from a man. And once again, like I said earlier in this here video, I let you hear from the horse's mouth, so to speak. In other words, from a woman's point of view on how the majority of women are just straight up too hard to please, nor know what they want in a man. Like always, make sure to like, share, comment, last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And I'm out.